Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to do a full day of eating. But before we get started, I do want to give a little disclaimer. So I was hesitant to even put out this full day of eating because I really do believe that everyone's caloric and food requirements are different and unique. And just because I'm eating something and that this is what's best for me right now doesn't mean that you should be following the same food plan, does not mean that you should be eating the same things. So I'm going to show you what I'll be eating today in hopes that maybe it'll give you some ideas on some healthier options that you can incorporate into your day-to-day life. But I am absolutely not telling you that these are the best foods and that this is the plan you should be following. So my hope is to give you some inspiration if you've been struggling with planning out your meals, if you've been struggling with not having a lot of time to cook. But my hope is not it is not that you copy my exact meal plan and just eat the same exact foods I've been eating for yourself. We are all different. We are all unique. We all have different dietary requirements. We all have different caloric requirements. So that's what I have to say on that. The second thing is that I'm not a registered dietitian, so I do have some knowledge on nutrition, and I have worked with a lot of clients before and helped them with their nutrition, but I am not a registered dietitian, and if you're looking for advice from one, that is not me. That being said, we're going to get right into it. So a little bit of background. I have not had a kitchen since March. Right before the pandemic hit in, we had our kitchen taken out of our apartment, out of our condo. It was right before IKEA closed. It was right before everything shut down. So we weren't able to get a new kitchen put in. We were fortunate enough to be able to stay with my boyfriend's parents for a few months, so we were living there and we were eating our meals there. But we've been back for about a month or so. We're getting our kitchen put in soon, but we still don't have one, so I'm making do with some minor cooking in my unit. We do have a toaster oven and an air fryer. We don't even have a microwave. We have a little kitchen set up over there. I'll show you guys that. And that's pretty much it. We do have a refrigerator, so we keep some food here. We order some food. We're just making do with what we have. So I'm going to show you what I'll be eating today, and I'll also give you some additional ideas for the healthier options you could eat if you don't have time to cook. So first thing here, I'm going to show you the breakfast that I have planned for today. So for my breakfast, I'm going to be eating these Chobani yogurts. So it would be healthier if I had just a plain yogurt, if I just bought the plain 2% or non-fat yogurt and had added some fruit in or whatever. But I know myself, and I know that right now if I bought that fruit would go bad in the fridge. We have a lot on our plate, we don't have a kitchen, and so I'm doing the best that I can, and I just don't have time to prepare fruit to put into my yogurt right now. So we're buying the peach yogurt, and the macros on it are pretty damn good. We got 11 grams of protein, 110 calories, and I'm eating 2 of these. So I think that a big problem that a lot of people face is that when they eat breakfast, they eat way too little. And I'm not saying that you need that you need a big breakfast to start off your day, but if you find that you eat breakfast and you're eating something small because you've been told that that's the appropriate amount to eat for breakfast, and you're starving by lunch, eat a bigger breakfast. I see so many people, they eat this small breakfast and then they feel weird about snacking between breakfast and lunch, so they let themselves become ravenously hungry before lunch. So instead of doing that, grab yourself a bigger breakfast. I'm eating 2 of these, and I'm also going to put my protein granola on top, and that's what I'm having for breakfast. I'm going to put about a serving of the granola on my yogurt, and it's not packed with protein, but it does give you a nice little boost. And eating enough protein is something I struggle with. That's why I try to make it such a big part of my breakfast. So this, for the 1 ounce portion, is 120 calories, 5 grams of protein. The other thing I want to mention is that the best way to measure your food, if that's what you're into, is on a food scale. So if you don't have one, I highly recommend grabbing one, even just a cheap front one from Target, Walmart, Amazon, whatever. If you don't have a scale, you can obviously use a measuring cup, but with certain foods, especially with denser or fattier foods, it's harder to get a good measurement when you're using a measuring cup or a measuring spoon. You're going to get the most accurate results if you are using a scale. And the other thing I wanted to mention, I didn't even say that I'm a vegetarian. So I am vegetarian. But I think a lot of the things I'll be talking about today will also be applicable if you're a meat eater. And the other thing I wanted to mention is that I do eat this for breakfast most days just because I enjoy it. I think it's delicious. But if I'm not in the mood for this or I don't have the yogurt, a lot of times I just swing by Starbucks and grab a sandwich. They actually have some solid high protein vegetarian options. So I'll either get, they have an impossible sandwich, which has an impossible patty with egg and cheese. I don't think the impossible patty is the healthiest thing in the world, but it, desperate times. And they also have an egg white wrap with egg white, feta, and spinach, and I think sun-dried tomatoes, and that's pretty damn good. And the macros in that are also really good. And if I'm looking for something a little bit lighter, they have these egg bites that have egg whites and pepper in them. So those are a little bit lighter. They're about 170 calories, and so I find that they just don't fill me up very much. So if I'm getting those, sometimes I'll get 2 sets of them, and I'll just put some, and I'll get the avocado spread and put that on top. That's a winning breakfast. And here's what my yogurt looks like once I put the granola on top. I'm going to put around that amount of granola on my other yogurt. I'm kind of eyeballing things right now just because I don't really know where the food scale is, but normally I would measure out that 28 grams or 1 ounce of my granola. Okay, and I did want to show you guys the little kitchen we've been working with since we had ours ripped out. So we just got a couple of basics here. We do have a toaster oven, which has been very useful, probably the most used thing in here, along with some plastic forks because we don't have a kitchen sink right now, and it's so annoying doing dishes in the bathroom sinks. And we also have a espresso machine, very important, as well as our little French press. And I mean, this is pretty much it. We have some utensils out, some sandwich bags, that kind of thing, but not much to our little kitchen. I am trying to keep some snacks around. So as you guys saw, I have that protein granola, which has been super delicious and helpful. I usually use the Kind protein granola, but they didn't have it the last time I went to Target, so I got that one. And then I love these. These are skinny dipped almonds. Maybe I'll have them a little bit later today. But they just have like this really thin coating of chocolate on them. So they're not that like really overwhelming chocolate almonds with like as much chocolate as almonds. They just have this like light like dusting of chocolate on them. Super delicious. All right, now I'm done with my food. I'm getting back to work. But before I do, I just wanted to mention what my goals were with my nutrition right now. And really, it's nothing crazy. It's nothing sexy. I'm not trying to lose a bunch of fat or put on a bunch of muscle. I know that things are very stressful right now, and I don't think it's a good idea to try to put myself on a fat loss plan when I don't have a kitchen and when I have all of these other things going on in my life. So my goal really is to just maintain my weight more or less and get in enough protein and vegetables, because those are the 2 toughest things really when you're eating a lot of meals out. Especially as a vegetarian, protein can be really difficult to meals out. If I'm cooking all of my own food, I know what the good protein sources are. I know that I can cook myself some tofu or seitan or whatever it might be, but those things aren't always on the menu when you go out to eat. So I'm just being conscious of my choices to make sure that I get in that adequate protein, and I make sure that I get a couple of servings of vegetables in every day. And in case you don't believe me, this is what our kitchen looks like right now. So these are the boxes that will be our kitchen. They're installing it next week, so we don't have too much longer to go. We do have a refrigerator, so that's good, and we're keeping that stocked up with some goodies, but this stove has been disconnected, so is the dishwasher, and the sink is gone, so there's not really much we can do in here. I will show you some of the things in here. We have some sauces, which can be really helpful, especially when we're ordering meals that don't have too much flavor to them. So we've definitely been using our sauces a lot. We also have some blueberries in here, which are definitely no good anymore. And I did want to show you, we've been ordering these MegaFit meals. I won't be eating one today because we're actually out. These are actually the chocolate protein cupcakes, which I haven't had yet. Maybe I'll have one today. And we've been using MegaFit meals for about 1 meal per day. And we've been doing that just because just because eating out twice a day can get really overwhelming and expensive. And these aren't that much cheaper than eating out, but they're definitely a lot healthier. And when we eat these, we know that we're getting enough protein and we know that we're getting in a vegetable source. I have more coming today, so I'll show you guys when that's an actual meal. But they also have these desserts. So these are the chocolate protein cupcakes. I haven't tried these, but I did try their cookie dough bites, and those were really good. And then you can see we got a couple of leftovers in here. We got some rosé, really important. And then I have more Chobani yogurt, more booze. You can be into fitness and still drink your alcohol. And then in this drawer, we have some ingredients for sandwiches. So I have some cheddar in here. We have been making sandwiches some days, so this has been good for that. And we also have these plant-based deli slices, which I don't think are the healthiest thing in the world. I try to keep my diet as minimally processed as possible, but whatever, these are a great convenience food, and I've been using these a lot. I won't be eating them today just because we don't have any bread. And that's pretty much it. Got some more sauces along the side of the refrigerator, so we're keeping things pretty basic since we don't have anything to cook with really. So we're back here for lunch. It's a little bit of a late lunch. I started my day a little bit late and I wasn't really hungry until later. So right now it's actually 3:30 p.m. I ordered a bowl from this place called Dig In. It's Diginn. There's some in Boston. I know there's some in New York City. I don't know if they exist anywhere else, so I'm sorry if there's no Dig In near you. They have these delicious bowls. And most of what they do is in the form of like a bowl. You get a base, so it's either some sort of grain or like a salad type thing, two sides, and then you get like a main on top, some sort of meat or other protein. And so what I usually do is I'll get like one starchier thing on my meal. So either I'll have the base be something starchier, something like farro or whatever else they have, or I'll have one of the sides be something starchier. So today what I did was I got a base of this like kale Caesar salad. I'll show you. I got the kale Caesar salad, I got this mac and cheese, and I got this summer squash. There's like zucchini in here. And you may have noticed that there is actually no tofu on this bowl. So they sent it out without the tofu, and I don't really want to wait for the tofu to come out. I'm hungry now. I'm going to eat this bowl without the tofu. It's unfortunate because I'd like the protein from it, but they were nice enough to comp me my whole meal, so that was great. So I'm going to eat this right now. It's going to be a little bit light on protein, but I'll figure something else out later. I'll probably either have just a protein powder, maybe I'll have more of those protein chips, or maybe I'll go out and buy some other protein source. But no big deal, we're just going with the flow here. So I finished eating, and now I do want to talk about one more thing. I want to talk about the 80-20 rule. So some people like this rule, some people don't. I think that the intuitive eating crowd thinks that it's a little bit too numerical. I think they don't like it because it uses numbers at all, and they really believe that your body should just be able to kind of find its natural balance, and that if you're eating what your body wants it to eat, then you'll be eating an appropriate amount of the more nutritious foods and an appropriate amount of the junk foods. And then I think if it fits your macros crowd doesn't think it's specific enough, and they really want more values than just that, like about 80% healthy food, 20% foods that you love. I personally do like the 80-20 rule because I think it can help people grasp how they should be eating. And obviously it doesn't have to be precise. You don't have to measure out your your more nutritional food and your junk food and make sure that it's exactly 80% and 20%, because it can help you really grasp where your eating habits should be. And if you notice with my lunch, I was supposed to have tofu. I had a serving of that kale Caesar salad, which was my greens. I had the summer squash, which was another vegetable. And then I was also supposed to have and then I also had the mac and cheese. And so the mac and cheese was more of the fun food in my lunch, and everything else had some nutritional value. Everything else was either a protein source, it was a veggie source, things that are really nutritionally dense and have a lot of value to them. And then my one fun food was that mac and cheese. And not to say that there's no nutritional value in that mac and cheese, but I think we can all agree that mac and cheese is more of a fun food. So, that's about 75% like whole food, nutritious foods, and then about 25% of more of a junkier kind of food. So I hope you find that helpful. That's kind of how I like to structure my meals and my day. Make about 80% of it whole food, nutritious, and then make the other 20% more fun food. And it doesn't always work out exactly that way, but that's something I try to strive for. So now I'm on dinner. I'm going to eat one of my MegaFit meals. I just had a package of them arrive today. They've been really helpful with us not having a kitchen. I looked into a lot of different brands that do meal delivery before picking this one, and the reasons I picked it were because one, they don't lock you into a subscription, and I know that I'm not going to need this for much longer, and I know that I just want to be able to make one order, stick everything in my freezer, and use it when I need it. And then I also picked it because they have some high protein vegetarian options. So a lot of services will offer vegetarian options, but they're usually just like vegetables and carbs, and they don't even bother trying to add a real protein source. So with MegaFit meals, they do have tempeh, and they have the Impossible Burger. No, it's the Beyond Burger. So I like them for that. They also do custom meals. So this one's one of their custom meals. It's tempeh, Brussels sprouts, and potato wedges, and I do really like their potato wedges. I've been cooking them in the toaster oven instead of the microwave because we actually don't have a microwave at this point, and they've been coming out pretty good that way. I'm not sure if they'd be coming out better or worse in the microwave or on a skillet, but yeah, they've been pretty good. They're a great way to make sure that I get my veggies in and get my protein because, again, those are the two things that are really the hardest to get when you are eating out all the time. So I'm really grateful for that. It's not as tasty as anything I'd be able to cook at home, but it's getting me my nutritional value. And I just like to add on sauces from home. So there's not that much flavor on here to begin with, but I'm going to stick some Frank's Red Hot on here. Sometimes I'll put like a garlic aioli or whatever sauces I have around, some mustard on top, and that really adds some flavor. Alright, I just finished eating my dinner. I realized that I forgot to show you guys my meal, but it was one of the custom meals, so it was 5 ounces of tempeh, 5 ounces of the potatoes, and then it was a cup of Brussels sprouts. So you can customize the quantities in the custom meals, which is really awesome. So I got the maximum amount of the protein, I got the maximum amount of, I can't speak, the maximum amount of the veggies, and then I got 5 ounces of the potatoes. It came out to like 430 calories, so it's a pretty light meal, but my lunch was pretty heavy, so honestly I'm not super hungry. I am going to finish off my night with the brownie. I ordered this before from Dig In. It's a flourless brownie. It looks delicious. And I pretty much finish off every night with something sweet, whether it's a piece of chocolate, a brownie. Sometimes I'll go for like the halo top, the substitute kind of thing, but sometimes you just gotta have the real thing, and you can have the real thing and still lose weight or maintain your weight or whatever your goal is, as long as you're controlling the portions. It's not about what you eat, it's about how much you eat. Of course, you still want to eat quality food most of the time, but that's where that 80-20 rule comes in. So I'm going to eat this brownie, but as you saw, I also ate lots of vegetables, lots of quality protein sources today. That's going to close this out. I hope this was helpful. I really hope that you don't try to exactly replicate my diet. We all have different dietary needs, but I do hope you found this informative, and if you've been looking for some other protein sources or places to order food from or whatever, I hope that you got some valuable information from this video. See you next time. And if you're new here, just make sure you hit that subscribe button and like this video. It really does help. I'm trying to put out YouTube videos as often as I can. I was doing them weekly. Subscribing and liking the video makes me know that you're here. It lets me know that you like the video so that I can continue to do them.